Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our indoor football wraparound, where we're going to take you around many different indoor football leagues. But first, let's start off in a Champions Professional Indoor Football League, where the Omaha Beef travel to Lincoln to take on the Haymakers. Now let's look at Omaha in this game. They're undefeated right now. The reason being, they have an outstanding quarterback in James McNair. 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's finding his outstanding targets, Bo Kildo and Judd Harold. Those guys combined for over 400 yards receiving. But defensively is where they make their money. These guys can really get after the quarterback. And what happens when they get that pressure, it opens up things on the back end. Their secondary has 8 interceptions on the season. That leads to CPIFL. These guys are getting it done defensively. Now, let's move over to Lincoln in this game. Look for tailback Marlon Lucky to be more involved in the offense. You may remember him, outstanding tailback for Nebraska, now plays for the Lincoln Haymakers and is one of their key players on his ball club. Now, defensively, defensive back Courtney Grigsby. This guy is outstanding. Not only does he do it covering wide receivers and picking off passes, which he's very well in doing, but he is an outstanding returner, so he flips field position. And they're going to need that field position in order to score on this Beef defense to keep them off balance. Huge game right here. I like Omaha. When you can bring them to the table, defensive pass rush, outstanding ball hawking secondary, that gives you a chance to win many games no matter the league. So I like the Beef to go on the road and knock off the Haymakers. So let's travel around the indoor football world to see what else is on tap.
It's week 6 in the Professional Indoor Football League. You look at the Albany Panthers traveling to Alabama to take on the Hammers. Both teams are 3-1. That's a big game in the PIFL. The Lehigh Valley Steelhawks travel to Richmond to take on the Raiders. Those two teams are 2-1. And the Columbus Lions travel down to the struggling Louisiana Swashbucklers, who's 1-2, hoping to get off the schneid after losing last week. Over in the Lone Star Football League, it's week 4, and once again the Amarillo Venom are on the road. This time they take on the San Angelo Bandits. The Abilene Bombers take on the New Mexico Stars expansion team at home. Should be a great game. Big fan of what the Bombers have done so far this season. Week 9 in the Indoor Football League as the Chicago Slaughter travel to Wyoming to take on the Cavalry. And the biggest game of the week, in my opinion, the Sioux Falls Storm travel to Tri-Cities to take on the Fever. The Cedar Rapids Titans take on the Texas Revolution. And keep an eye on the Nebraska Danger at the Colorado Ice. That's always a classic matchup between two outstanding football teams. Only 4 games on the Week 10 slate in the Continental Indoor Football League. The Marion Blue Racers travel to Kentucky to take on the Drillers. The Port Huron Patriots take on the Saginaw Sting, who's playing some outstanding football, by the way. The Detroit Thunder take on the Erie Explosion. And the Kentucky Extreme travel to Dayton to take on the Sharks. And finally, only 2 games on the Week 3 slate in American Indoor Football. The Cape Fear Heroes take on the Washington Eagles, and a big battle in Harrisburg as the Stampede hosts the York Capitals.